Okay, so this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see parents make, and it's asking their child if they want something or if they want to try it. So they might say something like, we're going to have lunch right now. Do you want a sandwich? Right? Or they're maybe going to have, they're interested in their child trying a new food. So they'll say, do you want to try some apple? Okay. So when we ask our kids, it's really easy for them to just react and say no. This happens with my kids all the time. Or they'll even look at the food on the table and be like, I don't want that. I'm like, okay, no problem, right? You don't have to eat it. Okay. But when we ask them, they can shut it down. And then we can go down a rabbit hole of a million things like, well, then do you want this? And do you want that? And they'll say, no, but I want this, or whatever it might be. Or maybe they don't even know. They don't even tell you what they want. They just keep saying no, or I don't know, or I don't want that. Right. So when we're trying to encourage them to try something new, or when we're just trying to get a meal on the table, what we don't want to do is ask. Now, that doesn't mean we shouldn't give any choice. We might say something. You don't have to do this for every single meal, and I don't suggest that you do, but maybe you do want to get some input on dinners for the week or for that night. You're like, I was trying to decide, do you feel like pasta tonight or hamburgers? And they're like, I don't want either. You say, okay, well, I'm going to pick one of those then, right? And you just go off and you pick one of those foods, you make it, and you move on. Right. But we don't have to go through a whole negotiating with it. But we could ask, or you could say, hey, I'm thinking about with lunch, we're going to have grilled cheese, and I'm trying to decide if we should have apples or oranges. What do you want? And they might say oranges. They might say, I don't want either. And you could say, no problem, right? No problem. I'll put them out. If anyone wants some, they can have some. Okay. So, what we don't want to do though is get involved in the back and forth or them telling us no and then us not doing it. What we do want to do is put food in front of them, offer food, and not just one food. We're not going to say, I'm making sandwiches for lunch. Here it is. This is the only thing available, right? And that way, when they say, I don't want a sandwich or whatever, you can say, no problem, we'll have other food too. And so maybe you have sandwiches and you also have some chips and some apple slices and some cucumbers. And then there's other stuff if they really don't want to eat it. But often, what ends up happening is that they sit down and once they warm up, maybe they will have some chips or something. If they're actually hungry, they'll end up eating something else too. Okay. Now, this doesn't happen every time. I'm not suggesting this is a way that will always get your child to eat things. Sometimes they need that exposure again and again and again. Or sometimes they truly don't feel like it and they are just going to eat the apple slices and chips or something. All of this is okay. But what I don't want you to do is get stuck in that rabbit hole of asking questions and having them shut you down. And then you think they'll never try anything new. Or every time I ask, they don't want it. Okay. Our job as parents is to create that overall structure and boundaries and then let our kids decide within it. And the best way we can do that is by just offering the food physically, like putting it out, not asking, putting it out in front of them. Okay, so this is one of the tools to help create an empowered eating environment is to create that structure and boundaries. That's at the macro level. We want to create structure and boundaries. There's other tools we can use. I call those microsystems for how we actually serve the meals, like on the table, the way that we do that, what are our mealtime tools and strategies. Okay, so we want to create structure and boundaries. We want to give them autonomy within that structure, right? So that they're not reacting to anything that we're doing. So we're giving them autonomy to listen to their body cues. We're removing any reactivity. And then we also want to be neutral with our language. Those are the three keys to creating an empowered eating environment. And like I said before, one of the mealtime tools is actually to offer the food physically. All right. If this is something you could use more support around, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to help provide more guidance for you. Otherwise, I hope this was useful and I will talk to you soon. Okay. Bye.